Very good evening to all brothers and sisters in the Dhamma. Today is Thursday class, 11 September 2025. So as usual, we will be continuing our sharing from our this Heart Sutra book, second edition. We are at chapter or lesson 32, page 158. Then as usual, we will be having our physical puja. Let us compose our mind, develop the Saddha, Virya, then mindfully we shall commence the puja chanting. Namo 本师释迦牟尼佛 Namo 本师释迦牟尼佛 Namo 本师释迦牟尼佛 Namo 观世音菩萨 Namo 观世音菩萨 Namo 观世音菩萨 Namo 阿弥陀佛 Namo 阿弥陀佛 Namo 阿弥陀佛 Namo 弥勒佛 Namo 弥勒佛 Namo 弥勒佛 Namo 药师佛 Namo 药师佛 Namo 药师佛 Namo 普贤菩萨 Namo 普贤菩萨 Namo 普贤菩萨 Namo 地藏王菩萨 Namo 地藏王菩萨 Namo 地藏王菩萨 Namo 佛菩萨 Namo 佛菩萨 Namo 佛菩萨 Arahang Sama Sambuddho Bhagava Buddhang Bhagavantang Abhivademi Swakato Bhagavata Dhammo Dhammang Namasami Supatipano Bhagavato Sāvaka Sangho Sanghang Namami Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Buddhang Saranang Gacchami Dhammang Saranang Gacchami Sanghang Saranang Gacchami Dutiyampi Buddhang Saranang Gacchami Dutiyampi Dhammang Saranang Gacchami Dutiyampi Sanghang Saranang Gacchami Tatiyampi Buddhang Saranang Gacchami Tatiyampi Dhammang Saranang Gacchami Tatiyampi Sanghang Saranang Gacchami Panatipata Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami Adina Dana Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami Kamesu Miccācara Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami Musawada Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami Surameraya Majapamadatthana Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami Sadhu Sadhu Sadhu. Okay, let us pay respect to Puja. Buddhang Pujemi. Dhammang Pujemi. Sanghang Pujemi. Always always remember the four support, especially the first three, to develop this awareness-based meditation. As this definition goes, is awareness-based, means to develop this style of meditation, we must develop the inner awareness to be aware. Otherwise, it is not awareness-based meditation. So this four support to enable or assist one to develop the inner awareness is very important. First support is just relax body and mind completely. And the second support is maintaining the awareness so that you don't think. Man can only do one thing at a time. Either you are completely silent without thought, maintaining the awareness, or you are lost in thought, preoccupied with what you are thinking. So ability to relax and maintain awareness is to silence your mind, and that is most important. You can do that, then you can train your mind to be completely silent without thought. But your habitual tendency, your memory, your conditioning, your belief system, and everything that you accumulate when you go through life develops all the views, opinion, conditioning, and belief system, etc. that will condition you to think. That's why living being without wisdom think a lot. You are hardly with your true mind, your silent mind. Your senses are very active. And when the respective causes and conditions arise, it will manifest as sense or consciousness. And they arise because of basic causes and conditions. As a human being, we have a physical body with the senses, the six main sense bases, internal. Then, when we go through life, when we go through existence, we will receive sense data, which are the external six sense bases. There are the six corresponding sense data for all the six types of internal sense bases. So the external sense data, they come in via your mental perception. You perceive them through your senses. But when your senses perceive them, there is no word, nothing. That's why the Buddha say, at the moment of sense experience, you are with the pure awareness. There is no memory. There is no labeling. There is no concept, nothing. But the problem with living being is you have been so conditioned to use words, to use your knowledge, ideology, conditioning and belief system, etc. That's why you will react to what you see, what you hear, what you smell, what you taste, what you tactile feel and think. And this is what we call the 18th sense rhyme. When the six sense data corresponding on make contact with the sense bases, and when your conscious mind or consciousness that is trapped inside is also present, these three create the causes and conditions for the respective sense or consciousness to arise. You can become conscious of what you see, what you hear, what you smell, what you taste, what you tactile feel and think. That's why we are conscious being. So meditation is to silence our mind, to observe. Observe within that silence. When we observe without reaction, without trying to know, without concept, idea or words, then we can understand what is going on. Then we can see that all these are dependent originating phenomena, condition arising phenomena. They come and they go. And based on one's views, opinion, conditioning and belief system, you stir your mind. You react to what you see, what you hear, what you smell, what you taste, what you tactile, feel and think. That's why this gives rise to Sakkaya-ditthi, wrong perception. And the wrong perception will condition the wrong thought, making what manifests, which is unreal, becoming like real, where you cannot see their dependent origination, condition arising characteristics. And because they are dependent originating condition arising, dependent on condition they arise. When condition cease to be, it ceases to be. So because of that, it has this universal characteristics of change, or what we call anicca. That you cling onto it, grasp onto it, and want things your way, which is not nature's way, then you suffer. That's why from impermanent, it leads to suffering. Then when you see all this clearly, then you come to realize that the thought process, the five aggregates of form and mind, which is dependent originating, is not a permanent unchanging entity that you can deludedly grasp onto, cling onto, hold onto, and say, this is me, this is I, therefore all this can be mine. This is what the Buddha calls Sakkaya-ditthi, self-delusion. When you understand this, your mind liberates, and you can free, and you can develop this very powerful wisdom to actually develop the wisdom not to be deceived by this 18 sense rhyme, or so-called sense door consciousness, which are delusional, not what you think. So I come back to the four support. Relax body and mind, first support, then maintain awareness. Then stabilize this awareness, there is a third support. Means throughout the process, no thinking, nothing. Then finally, when you can do this very well, your mind becomes very quiet and very tranquil and just still. Means most of the time it's just aware without thought. And when this inner awareness stabilizes, the free mind settles down and becomes very quiet, very peaceful, and very tranquil. So that true mind is the tranquility of mind, the stillness of mind, the silent mind, or your true mind. You will come to realize that when you develop the first three support until it's very stable, then you can inquire without thought, who are you? Then you can see clearly through that silence how you function as a human being, and how you interact with the world, and how you come to know the world. So all this can give rise to wisdom, to allow one to develop the understanding of life, so that you will not be deceived by the 18th sense rhyme, which happens to be today's topic. After I will go through with you. Then after that, you will develop your own understanding through realizing that silent mind, which is pure awareness. So when you can stabilize that pure awareness to be aware without thought, a free mind, not a conditioned mind, without thought, that is the beginning. Then when you can develop that, this will stabilize until you become very quiet, very tranquil, and very still. Then you will be able to see a lot of things, develop a lot of understanding on your own. You don't need a teacher technically. Then whatever happens, it will give rise to insight knowledges. You can insight into phenomena, awaken, and realize the truth that liberates your mind. So all this is part and parcel of meditation. So to be heedful is to be ever mindful. So the first training is using the four support to develop stability of mindfulness within, so that you can become ever mindful. Initially is to have a glimpse of what the silent mind is, what your true mind is, the pure awareness nature. Then you will come to realize that this nature is the primordial nature. It was there before the thought, but it is also the true mind that is responsible for the arising of thought and consciousness. And that thought and consciousness that arise are dependent originating condition arising, not you, not a permanent unchanging entity. So see it clearly so that you are not deceived, you are not deluded by it. Then after all this, the first three supports stabilize, then you can do the fourth support, which is trust. You silence everything, maintain awareness, the inner awareness, and stay at the heart area. Then let the nature move on its own, detect on its own. Then whatever it come into contact with, just maintain awareness. Yeah. Aware, finish. Aware, finish. No more thinking. No more stirring of the mind and reaction to sense experience. Within that silence, you observe. That's why the silent observation of what is wisdom. What is the reality, where you can use your true mind to observe within the silence. You understand a lot of things. You will awaken. Then the fourth support is the most beautiful. But most people, cultivators, don't have to do the fourth support unless you want to go the bodhisattva way. Yeah. So even those who do the sainthood way, no harm trying. You just relax body and mind completely until it's very quiet, very peaceful, very tranquil. Then you stay at the heart area and allow the nature to develop the movement on its own. Then this pure awareness nature, it will detect by itself, it will move by itself, it will activate whatever that it needs to activate, and it will help you locate the gateway to your inner nature, or sometimes they call it the Buddha nature. Okay, with this, I will let you meditate on your own. Okay, you all can slowly, mindfully come out of the meditation. Try to maintain whatever inner peace, inner calmness, and inner awareness that you have developed for as long as you can. Invocation to the Devas. In this universe, in the entirety, let the deities or Devas come here. Let them hear the good teachings of the King of Sages, which gives heaven and release, Nibbana. This is the time to listen to the teaching. This is the time to listen to the teaching. This is the time to listen to the teaching. Samanta Chakawale Su Atra Gachan Tu Devata Saddhammang Muni Rajasa Sunantu Sakamok Kadang Dhamma Svanan Kalo Ayang Badanta Dhamma Svanan Kalo Ayang Badanta Dhamma Svanan Kalo Ayang Badanta Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Iti peso bhagava arahang samma sambuddho Vijacarana sampanno sugato lokavidu Anuttaro purisa dhammasarati Satta deva manusanang buddho bhagavati Swakato bhagavata dhammo Sanditiko akaliko ehipaseko opanayiko pacatang veditabo vinohiti Supatipanno bhagavato sāvaka sangho Ujupatipanno bhagavato sāvaka sangho Nyayapatipanno bhagavato sāvaka sangho Samicipatipanno bhagavato sāvaka sangho Yadidang cattari purisa yukani atta purisa pugala Esa bhagavato sāvaka sangho Ahuneyo pahuneyo takkineyo anjali karaneyo Anuttarang punyang ketang lokasati Sadhu Sadhu Sadhu. Okay, now we'll continue from where we stopped. Turn to page 158, lesson 32. Heart Sutra, second edition. Part 1. There is no more short notes for this section because the previous notes that are given out are more than adequate for your cultivation. So do strive on with heedfulness. Then this part 2, Heart Sutra lesson 32, is based on Master Chuan Ho's commentaries. It talks about the 18 sense rhyme. So the title is The Emptiness of the 18 sense rhyme or 18 field. So, as you all have heard before, the Buddha always teaches the 6 sets, the 3 sets of 6. 3 times 6 is 18, because we have the 6 sense bases. Then these 6 sense bases, which exist within our physical body, they are capable of developing into the respective 6 types of sense door consciousness. That's why I always explain to you, as a human being, or even any living being, we basically have these senses. But as a human being, this is very useful. That's why we are a conscious being, in the sense that as a human being, with the 6 sense bases within, the 6 internal sense bases, we can become conscious of what we see through our eye, seeing organ, conscious of what we hear through our ear, the hearing organ, then conscious of what we smell, taste, tactile, feel, and think. Then this first set of 6, which the Buddha called it the internal sense bases. So you look at the notes, the 18th sense line consists of 3 sets of 6s. The first sets of 6 refer to our 6 internal sense bases, or what we call the organs. Basically, there are 5 physical organs and 1 mental organ, which is the brain. So the first 5 physical senses, they are our major senses: our eye, our ear, nose, tongue, tactile or the physical body, then finally our brain. That's why all these 6 are capable of giving rise to the respective 6 types of sense door consciousness. It can make us conscious of what we see. That's why seeing consciousness is a very important property, where human being needs to arise everything that we want to see within the vision of our eye. If you are not affected, your organ of seeing, which is the eye, are in more or less right condition, means non-defective, didn't born with problems, then this can give rise to what we call seeing consciousness. It can make us conscious of what we see, like the sight and sound. Vision is sight, sound is through the hearing. So our phenomenal world of consciousness can give rise to seeing all of the beautiful vision that we can see through our organ of the eye, through our seeing consciousness. Then we can hear all the sound, the music, the vibration, the words, the communication, nature's voices or vibration. Then all of the vibration within nature, like the chirpings of the birds, the breeze, the insect sound, and also the flowing water, stream, and all those things. Then the nature's vibration, the howling sound that we can hear through our hearing consciousness. All these are nature's phenomena. So the 6 sense basis, internal 6 sense basis, is the basis of sense door consciousness. We need this first set of 6 to enable us to become conscious of what we see, what we hear, what we smell, what we taste, what we tactile feel and think. And this is how you can come to know the world, interact with the world. make life existence meaningful, beautiful. Then the second set of 6 refers to the 6 type of external sense bases or respective sense data that we receive through our mental perception. They are called external sense data. Like our organ of seeing, the eye, our sense data is color, shape, and form. When there is color, shape, form, then we can see. Then the sense data for hearing consciousness is mainly vibration, which can be in the name of nature's vibration or musical vibration, voices, sound system, and all sorts of vibration, like when the lightning strikes, that type of sound can be like thundering. Then whatever that can be perceived through our organ of hearing, like the vibration from nature, with the various range of frequency, our ear has its limited capacity to detect them. But some of the vibrations that are out of our audible range, they are perceivable by other beings, like animals, or even certain type of bats or birds and all those things. So the level of perception vary. So as human beings, our senses, we have limited capacity, but good enough for us to know the world, to interact with the world, and to perceive the phenomenal world of consciousness, and to develop the sense experience that we, through delusion, entangle ourselves most of the time. But if you meditate, develop the understanding of the Dhamma, develop the wisdom and awaken, then you become different. You start to develop the wisdom to understand life. When you understand life, you will know how to live life. Then you will know how to develop the understanding to experience all of the pristine beauties and wonders of life. Then life becomes different. Life take a turn. It will become more meaningful, wonderful, and amazingly meaningful. So the wonders of existence, nature, the beauty of life, the pristine beauty and wonders within existence, nature and life can be perceived through our senses. That's why this sixth sense of 6, together with the mind consciousness, where we have a consciousness trapped inside our physical body. So these 3 sets the condition for their respective sense of consciousness to arise. When these 3 make contact, the sense data imprints upon the sense basis, and the mind make contact, then it will trigger that respective sense of consciousness. Like the Buddha explained, he said, take for example seeing consciousness. When the conscious mind make contact with the sense data that imprints upon the organ of seeing, which is our eye, then it will trigger off, like the physics experiment. The light bulb lights up. The lighting up is like making us conscious. In this case, is conscious of what we see. That's why he called it the seeing consciousness. So in the seeing, what manifests is just the seeing consciousness. There is no one to see, no self-delusion, no sakkaya-ditthi. But as human beings, because since birth until now, we are so conditioned by the conditioned world, by our knowledge, everything. Then we tend to have this self-delusion or sakkaya-ditthi. We believe we exist as an individual. We are real. We are capable of becoming conscious. Conscious of what we see. That's why you entangle with it. You develop the delusion by clinging on to what you see. Then you manifest the egoic mind. I see, therefore I am. That is like real. Then you take in everything as very real. You make it personal. Then you want to own them, possess them. From there, you create the attachment, the craving, the clinging, the entanglement, leading to suffering, the affliction. That's why without the Dhamma, without wisdom, you cannot see through the phenomenal world of consciousness. You cannot break this sakkaya-ditthi or self-delusion. And because of that, living beings find it very difficult to develop the understanding to penetrate this. The Buddha called it the direct seeing. Seeing things as they are, not seeing things as one perceived through our own conditioned view. Your conditioned knowledge, your views, your opinion, conditioning and belief system, etc. This one is knowledge, thought-based. It molds you and is not wisdom. That's why this one is delusional. That's the reason why J. Krishnamurti say, acting according to memory or knowledge or conditioned thought is sakkaya-ditthi, self-delusion. So acting according to memory is not acting at all, where there is no wisdom within. So that type of perception is always wrong perception. Then when you see with sakkaya-ditthi, the wrong perception trigger of wrong thought, the egoic mind, that has the evil roots of greed, hatred and delusion. And because of that, the 18 sense rhyme can create a lot of delusion within the living being's mind. And through that delusion, especially sakkaya-ditthi, you develop what they call unnecessary attachment and clinging to all the sense perception, the 18 sense rhyme that manifests through our daily activity. That's why every moment of conscious living, because of the sixth sense door, we are subject to all this movement of the 18 sense rhyme, and they are like magicians. We are the sense door consciousness, the Buddha called consciousness, like the magician, illusionist. They create illusion for you to see. Without the Dhamma, without the understanding, you cannot see its unreality. This phenomenal world of consciousness and form. You tend to cling onto them, grasp onto them, hold onto them, give meaning. Then you develop the correspondent craving, attachment, positive and negative. Then all this trio of reaction of mind, you tend to stir your mind at every moment of sense door consciousness. You react to what you see, what you hear, what you smell, what you taste, what you tactile feel and think. But if you are not mindful or aware within, you don't have the silent mind, the pure awareness nature to silence everything and observe the movement, the activity, to see things as they are. You cannot unfold the mystery of life. You cannot awaken. You will be deceived, deluded. That's why this phenomenal world of consciousness and form, they are very powerful. They are like a great magician creating magic or illusion for you to see, thereby conditioning living beings, especially human beings, to cling on to the unreal, believing that it is real. So instead of silencing your mind with the pure awareness nature, to insight into phenomena, to realize the three universal characteristics of nature, which are anicca, dukkha, and anatta, means empty nature of existence. And when you want things your way, which is not nature's way, you suffer. All these universal characteristics, you will see them. Because you will see that everything that arises or manifests and disappear, they are all dependent, originating phenomena, condition arising, causal phenomena, not a permanent, unchanging entity. And because of that, it is definitely impermanent. We are dependent on condition, they arise. When conditions continue to evolve and move, then the phenomena also evolve and move. That's why everything that arises is just a phenomena, following causes and conditions, dependent, originating, condition arising, causal. Every moment, every instant is different. Then when causes and conditions cease to be, it ceases to be. They come and they go. So you are not able to silence your mind, to develop the deep, penetrative, pure awareness nature within. Means if you are not completely silent within, to realize your true mind, to observe all this, you cannot see things as they are. You cannot develop the wisdom. The real meditation is the silent mind observing what is the reality. That's why seeing things as they are means to see the reality. Like the Buddha mentioned, whatever arises, there are causes and conditions behind. And these causes and conditions he has taught us. For the mind, he called it the paticca samuppada, or ita paccayata, or we call it the 12 link of paticca samuppada, the law of dependent origination. So if everything is dependent, originating, condition arising, causal phenomena, then we got reality, which means this sense thought, consciousness or manifestation, they are not real. They are not what you think. It's not a permanent, unchanging entity. Through delusion, through ignorance, living being corrupts, cling and hold on to all this, thereby entangling themselves. They get afflicted. They become miserable over things that are unreal. That's why they see the unreal as real. That's why they attach, they cling, they give meaning. Then they cannot see things as they are, to realize that all these conditions arising phenomena, they are dependent, originating, hence not a permanent, unchanging entity. That's why it's impermanent, dependent on condition it arises. How can it be permanent? When condition changes, it changes. it evolves, it flows. So all these are the real teaching, the direct seeing with the silent mind, with the pure awareness nature. That's why we need to train our mind to be aware, to be mindful, to develop the pure awareness nature within, so that this true mind, silent mind, which is a free mind, can develop the wisdom and the understanding. Okay, then the third set of 6 refer to the 6 type of respective sense door consciousness that arise upon contact of mind with its sense bases and sense data. That's why we got 6 sense bases: the eye, the ear, the nose, the tongue, tactile, bodily tactile, and the brain, which is memory, consciousness, mental consciousness. So these 6 sets of physical and mental sense bases are the basis for us living being or human being to develop the ability to be conscious. And this is what life is all about, existence is all about. And when we are conscious of all this, without the Dhamma understanding and the wisdom, we create our own entanglement and delusion through not understanding what they are or what they actually are, taking the unreal as real, taking the impermanent as permanent, then crave, wanting things your way which is not nature's way, thereby entangling ourselves with suffering, misery. So this is what affliction is all about. Then the empty nature of existence, you cannot see the anatta nature, the non-self nature, which is equivalent to empty nature of existence, because that form and mind, the so-called human being, the 2 aspects of the 5 aggregate of form and mind. The first aspect as a human being, second aspect as consciousness with its content. These 2, you cannot see that they are empty, unreal. Then you will create your own sakkaya ditthi to entangle yourself. So the 3 sets of 6 will give rise to the 18 sense rhyme that develop the manifestation of phenomena. That's why the phenomenal world of consciousness, the PWC, the last of the 4 circles, we call it the stages of creation. How from the source, from our Buddha nature or oneness nature, everything manifests. If you go through cessation of form and mind or realization of Nibbana, then if you are not supposed to parinibbana, you can still come out and become a conscious being again. And through that process, you will understand the creation. Then you will know the first thing to come out from the unconditioned source of oneness nature or Buddha nature or true nature is the pure awareness nature. That is the primordial nature, the original nature of enlightenment. From there, all things arise and manifest. That's why you have to realize that. Then you can see the creation. So from the pure awareness nature, which is the 2nd circle, it manifests into the 3rd circle, the 5 aggregates of form and mind, or what we call the mundane mind. The 2 aspects, first as a human being, then with its sense basis, it can trigger off thought consciousness, which is the basis of the 2nd aspect. And thought consciousness come from the what we call nature's law that manifests, like the Buddha said, in the seeing. Initially is only that consciousness, the seeing consciousness, no one to see. But the moment the human being or living being, through its views, opinion, conditioning, and belief system, input the content of consciousness, then this pure consciousness with its content become a thought, a trigger of thought, activity. And within this thought, you have the aggregates of perception, the aggregates of what they call feeling. And of course, you need contact. And upon contact, feeling arise, the seven universal arise. So that's how it moves. Then your views, your opinion, your conditioning, your belief system, that condition the quality of that thought develops what we call the moral and immoral aspect of that thought. That's why in the Abhidhamma is mentioned, moral is kusala citta, immoral is akusala citta, means whether it has the Sakaya Ditti that carries the three evil roots of greed, hatred, and delusion or not, whether it's moral or immoral. That's how karma comes into place. And these are the movement. Then from there, it manifests into the phenomenal world of consciousness, like the physics experiment. So the senses, together with the consciousness and the sense data, trigger off the 18th sense drive. And this phenomenal world of consciousness is the one that creates the external movement of existence and life. That's why what the individual perceives, everyone, especially living beings, then later on, when you understand, you will also come to understand why all the other beings, living beings, not only human beings, they also manifest through their senses. That's why especially those that are born within the sensual realm, they have these senses. And every being, every moment, every instant, your limited personal perception, they are all different. That's why how we perceive the world, how we know the world, and how every moment, every instant, depending on where you are, what civilization and all those things, your perception is different. That's why before you develop the understanding of the Dhamma, your perception are all wrong perception, born of Sakaya Ditti, born of delusion, ignorant. That's why you need to cultivate the Dhamma and awaken to its teaching. Then from there, you can develop the wisdom to break free from this Sakaya Ditti, or self-delusion, or avidya, ignorance. And when you root out completely Sakaya Ditti and avidya, you develop the sainthood enlightenment experiences. First stage of sainthood, second stage of sainthood, third stage, and fourth stage. Respectively, you call them the Sotapan, the Sakadagamis, the Anagami, and the Arahanta. These are the sainthood awakening. And each and every of these sainthood awakening, you develop the wisdom to break free from certain fetters, until finally all the 10 fetters that bind living beings into this existential world is all rooted out, or awakened to. Then you become an Arahant. Arahant means no more rebirth. We are avijja, ignorant. Yeah. But it doesn't mean once you realize arahantship, everything ceases. It is possible for those who didn't know how to continue or take the bodhisattva way. Then after that life, no more avijja, no more rebirth consciousness. Their last thought moment is free. That's why there is no continuation of samsara or rebirth consciousness. Then they believe they cease. But technically, he know you, he know me. So who become enlightened? Who sees? It's basically wisdom that realizes itself. The mundane mind realizes itself via wisdom and sees. But if you know how to continue the cultivation via the bodhisattva way, then you will know how to create the causes and condition for you to come back as a bodhisattva. That's why bodhi is wisdom. Satta or sattva is living beings. So a bodhisattva is a living being that cultivates the bodhisattva way to realize Sammasambuddhahood. So they are basically enlightened beings, bodhisattva. So it means even as an arahant, they can still come back because of their 4 basic vows, especially the first basic vow, where they vow to take a cross and liberate all living beings of the 3 periods of time, past, present, and future, and they vow to take them across, all across. So that vow is born of love and compassion, no avijja. And because of that, it can link back to the conditioned world. It can arise as a consciousness to take birth, but no karmic imprint, means no avijja like the arahant. But the arahant cannot come back because they don't have this vow. With wisdom, they cease because the last thought is without ignorance. Whereas the bodhisattva, when they pass away, their last thought also parinibbana, no delusion. They also enlightened being. But they can come back because they also have a karmic nature. So this karmic nature will condition the karmic rebirth. And for that to arise, for the so-called living being's nature to return to the existential world, or what we call the conditioned world, we need a karmic nature that every being has, even the Buddha has, or the enlightened being they have. The unenlightened one also they have the karmic nature. Then with the karmic nature, you need avijja, which is ignorant at the last thought moment before you pass away, to come back and take rebirth as a normal human being born of ignorance. Whereas the bodhisattva is different. Their vow created the pure mind or the pure thought, which is love and compassion. So out of love and compassion, they integrate into the nature's law and manifest through their karmic nature, which they have also more or less cultivated. And this karmic nature, as you develop the cultivation, it will become more and more beautiful, more and more progressive and beautiful. And this one will continue to support the bodhisattva life after life. Then in between, they also develop a spiritual nature that will enable them to retain all their spiritual cultivation and perfection and understanding, so that when they come as a form and mind to this existential world, they are not like the law of karma. The moment you are born, like the Buddha said, we are all born of our karma, heir to our karma, conditioned and supported by our karma. And we are what we are because of our karma. So the karmic nature manifests that way. The moment you are born as a living being within the 31 plane of existence, then the law of karma come into play. But for the Bodhisattva, it's different. The law of karma, of course, will come into play, but their karmic nature is different, more evolved, perfected, and much more powerful. Yeah. Then from there, somehow, because of their vows, adhitthana, etc., through their cultivation, they will know how to connect back to the cultivation. Then when they connect, they will realize their true mind, their silent mind. Then when they do the fourth support, which is trust, they will locate the gateway. Then the internal movement and transformation will happen. Then the cultivation of the Bodhisattva way will continue. We call it the Supreme Vehicle teaching. So from there, that movement is a very long cultivation. We call it the extensive cultivation, the extensive evolution. Means you will develop the cultivation for eons and eons and eons, until your experience, your understanding, your wisdom is very extensive, until you can perfect the 10 perfection to be a Sammasambuddha. And that takes very long. That's why the Bodhisattva way is way, way beyond the normal sainthood way. Yeah. But only those who take that training can develop the understanding, unless you have the causes and condition and affinity to receive those Supreme Vehicle teaching, and you make your determination. Means you take your Bodhisattva vow, you aspire to go this way, then the 4 basic vows will drive you. Then from those understanding, you start initially as a maybe elementary level Bodhisattva training. Then after that, you slowly evolve the understanding. Then as you encounter and meet more and more great beings, Sammasambuddha, teachers, guide that can teach you, guide you, and make you understand all this deeply, then you will progress. Then you will develop your own ability to have a very beautiful karmic nature, and your spiritual understanding, which will develop the spiritual nature, also evolve and become more and more sophisticated. Yeah. Then every life you come, the moment the causes and conditions evolve and you come into contact with the Dhamma and the training, then you locate back your true mind, realizing your pure awareness nature. Then from there, ability to connect to your nature within. And from there onward, you will inherit all your past spiritual understanding. Just like this life, after 1989, my spiritual nature understanding came back to this form of mind, because it's stored within that spiritual nature. That nature is not a being, not you, but it's like the karmic nature. It's a nature, it's a summation of all the so-called millennium, since the beginning of the first thought of ignorance, that condition one's karmic nature into what it is now. So all this, the summation of it, every moment, every instant, all of your karmic thought consciousness becomes your karmic nature. Whereas your spiritual nature is different. It's not the summation of all this rubbish, but it's the accumulation of what we call, whenever you develop your spiritual understanding, your cultivation, so this spiritual understanding will be deposited into your spiritual nature. And this spiritual nature will retain it for you. That's why you will come to the understanding that every life the Bodhisattva come, all of this wisdom is like you need to start from scratch. But because of your karmic nature and spiritual nature, you will move differently. Sometimes because of the spiritual nature, the understanding from your past, you move very fast. And you will return to the level you cultivate very fast. Then from there you continue to perfect yourself, fulfill your vow and do all those things. And this is something that living being cannot understand. That's why cultivation is not what living being think, not so straightforward. But when you have gone through all this, then you will come to understand how beautiful this Bodhisattva way or the supreme vehicle cultivation can be. And it will really amaze living beings, especially human beings. So this movement is a totally different movement, because from the spiritual nature, when you inherit, it will bring you back to the level you have cultivated. That's why technically you don't lose any of this. But the understanding is very strange. Like this life, let's say, I got this so-called brother Theo that you all call. This one got his spiritual nature, his karmic nature. Then this segment of his life, it come, it connect, it develop all this understanding. But this understanding, as long as this form and mind is there together with what has been cultivated. But the true mind, your true nature is not that. The understanding cannot be taken away or lost. It's always there. That's why no need memory on, no need to remember anything. But the other aspect of this cultivation is the moment this form and mind, so-called brother Theo, dissolve and cease, then what happens is the form and mind that goes through the cultivation and develop all this wisdom and understanding cease with it. Cease with it, gone. But the spiritual nature is still there. The karmic nature is still there. That's why in future when it comes upon birth, like this life, my nature, even when I'm very young, I already have some understanding of what this thing is. Where I observe, I have the silent mind when I remember until the age of 5. My mind was so pure, almost no thought. My parents used to tell me, they saw me so cute, so innocent. But then I didn't speak. I hardly speak, and they thought I dumb. Especially my grandmother worried. But when I grew up, she came to know my parents came to know that I was normal actually. But the first 5 years, my mind completely blank, nothing. It's like pure, true mind all the time. Then later on, it get defiled when I was brought back to another notorious city to live. Then from there I go through life, I go through the education. But it evolved by itself, it developed the understanding itself. And since young, this nature developed a very unique experience and inquiry that normal beings don't arise. That's why after that I realized I saw a lot of signs that show it to me. There are certain nature's law that you cannot violate. Whenever you do something against nature's law, it show it to you. Then I knew. Then there are a lot of things that I saw when I was young, which I know normal people don't see. They don't appreciate. In fact, my mind was with the awareness, the phenomenal movement, specific phenomenal awareness, spatial awareness. But that time I don't know what this is. But my mind knew. How come I can see all this? Then I just tell myself, this must be something I have developed before in the past. Otherwise, I cannot be observing all this. I cannot just arise all this. No way. Because the very clear sign is, living being think a lot. The mind is seldom silent away. That's why to develop mindfulness is not easy. Awareness is not easy. Excuse me. Normal human being got to train very hard. So this mindfulness or awareness within is actually aware of our true mind, our silent mind. And without thought, you already aware. You don't have to practice to be aware. You only need to develop the understanding of how to silence your mind. That's why I say relax, maintain awareness, means don't think. Don't try to know, don't try to do anything, just silent, just aware. Allow that pure awareness nature to understand, to see things as they are, to observe what is, or the reality. So the silent observation of what is meditation. Silent observation means the silent mind observing. No thought, nothing. It's just that nature, aware. The mindfulness is ever mindful, constantly meditative. That is the silent mind observing. The silent mind observing what is. The silent observation of the reality, what is. That is meditation, awareness-based meditation. So, understand that, then you will make progress and you will develop all the understanding. Okay, now we go back to the notes. I haven't covered much today. I think only the first 3 sets of 6. Okay, I read on the next one. Understanding this 18 sense rhyme can lead to the understanding of how you know the world, which I explained, and how you interact with the world. Means through our senses, our seeing consciousness, our hearing consciousness, smell, taste, tactile, and thought consciousness. Through this sense door consciousness, we develop the ability to know the world. All our knowing come through our senses. Without our senses, we cannot know, we cannot perceive, we cannot develop the feeling, the sensation, the views, the opinion, the conditioning, the belief system, the knowledge. All this, you need the senses. depending on how evolved the living being is. So that's why I say understanding this 18 sense rhyme, which is awareness-based meditation, you will come to the understanding on your own. It can lead to self-knowledge. It can lead to the understanding of how you know the world and how you interact with the world, plus how you function as a human being, leading to the understanding of who are you, what are you. And you can see clearly how all this manifestation through consciousness create delusion for the living being. How the unreal is being grasped onto as real. That's why it's like a great magician or illusionist. A magician that create illusion for one to see. So illusionary world of consciousness is often used as a sentence by the Mahayana. So illusionary world is very, very beautiful description. So this world is an illusion, like the Dhamma Sharing. 一切有为法，如梦幻泡影，如露亦如电，应作如是观。What is the meaning? 一切有为法 means within our condition, everything is dependent originating, condition arising. That's why it's a conditioned world. And because of that, there is no reality. 如梦 dreamlike. 幻 illusionary, 泡 bubble, 影 shadow. So it's really an illusionary world, dreamlike. The conscious moment is like you dream. When you go through life with the mundane consciousness, mundane mind activity, that is not your true perception, not your true mind, not your nature's direct seeing wisdom. That's why the next sentence is important. It is important for us to understand what Sankhara is. Sankhara is the content of consciousness, or everything that your mind can do, including the aggregates of feeling and perception. It includes all your mental movements and activity, like mental states, intention, planning, and scheming. Mental state means your fear, your phobia, your whatever mind state, whether it's peaceful, tranquil, or still, or whatever. These are all the various mind states. That's why in the Abhidhamma they say, Sankhara got 52. 50 plus feeling and perception, total 52. And all of your mental formation, conditioned views, opinion, belief system, etc., they are all part of Sankhara. That's why the Buddha sometimes only use this word, Sankhara. Sabbe Sankhara Anicca, Sabbe Sankhara Dukkha. Then the last one is Sabbe Dhamma Anatta. Means when it comes to Anatta, it's not only Sankhara, the conditioned world, even the unconditioned. It is also Anatta, not a permanent, unchanging entity. Okay, then I read on. The consciousness aggregate is the pure receptacle. Then when you input the content of consciousness, consciousness and its content becomes the thought, which is your mental five aggregates of form and mind that the Buddha refers to under its final summary of the first noble truth of dukkha, in which the Buddha said, in short, it is due to one's sakkaditi or self-delusion that condition one's craving and clinging to grasp at that five aggregates of form and mind that he called dukkha. That's why the upadana khandhas, the grasping aggregate, is suffering. This is due to self-delusion. Living beings tend to attach cling to their physical form or physical body, their mental feelings, to all the external manifestation or external form that one's bring in through your perception. So this external form that they come to perceive in every moment of sense or consciousness is the most powerful one. Then their mental thinking and mental concoction or consciousness and its Sankara Sanya activity. Perceive, think, react, stir, the emotion, everything. That's why Sankara Sanya, leading to all the suffering in life. Take for example, when one perceives their loved ones, good friends, colleagues, or pets, or even various prized possessions, like their money, their property, their wealth, etc., and grabs onto them, then what will happen? The fear of separation or losing them can arise if we don't have the wisdom, the Dhamma understanding, and deludedly perceive them as really belonging to us. Once you attach and grasp onto them, you can be afflicted, and you will become like very fragile and vulnerable. It is due to delusion, saccadity, that condition you to grasp and cling onto them, because you fail to see their universal characteristics or impermanent suffering state and empty nature or anatta nature or non-self nature. All sense experience and phenomena, no matter how alluring, are a prelude to suffering. This one you must remember, contemplate, and you will understand. But they are all of the nature to arise and pass away or cease. They are illusionary. So they will separate from you when conditions cease to be. Without wisdom developed via heedfulness, one will not be able to accept this reality. One must train one's mind to be heedful or ever mindful, to cultivate the Noble Eightfold Path and the four foundations of mindfulness, leading to the enlightenment via realization of the Four Noble Truths. Okay, we have to stop here, because already 9:54. So you will come back to our second session, which is meditation reporting, followed by any question that you may have. You can discuss also on this today's topic or anything regarding Dhamma in daily life that you have come to develop as understanding.
Radhi, welcome back from your trip, Mrs. Steele and Sui.
Oh, very good trip. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, so from the photos,
Yeah.
I mean, from the face, everyone of you had a good trip. All the
Yeah, a very good trip.
sceneries.
Yeah, the food are good, the hotels are good, and the spiritual trip
Yeah.
is also like meant to be. Then we happen to witness the solar halo. The solar halo was quite a unique experience because that day the weather was fantastic, and we were all climbing up the that way place. Taisan, is it? So Taisan. The Taisan they believe is a very sacred mountain where all the emperor, a lot of the emperor go there and rebuild the place, and I think every time they go there, that whole place will be packed with people, and the emperor will be very tightly guarded and all those things. Then they have a lot of history behind, where a lot of like heavenly manifestation which they believe, because that area is very special, and a lot of them who went there, they also have the faith and understanding that it seems a lot of them have their wish come true, manifested, like Kuan Yin's nature like that, very, very amazingly wonderful and beautiful. Then the nature is such that when we were up there, initially last time you had to climb very high. It's 7-8 hours of hiking or climbing. But now with the bus that took us to a certain distance, then from there we take a cable car up. And when we reach the top of the cable car, we need to climb another 800 meters, which was relatively not that high. So 800 meters, about maybe 2,600 or 700 feet. Then beautiful steps all the way, and a lot of beautiful buildings and construction. Then the weather was so wonderful, breezy, but when the wind blows, it's chill, it's cooling, it's very, very beautiful. And that whole area, even with the afternoon sun, all those things, is very cooling, very nice weather. Then the solar halo manifest. I think one of the Kayamita saw it, then alert the rest, then they took the photo, everything. And this type of manifestation is like a sign of auspicious thing manifesting, happening. Even the Taoyu that took us there, he shared the same. He said, "You all very different." And this type of solar halo, seldom you see. You can see means it's an auspicious happening. So all these are like meant to be. Then the other way place also same. The first temple we visit also very good. How to pronounce? Zhan San Si. Also very cooling. That whole area blissful. Then the energy very good. The abbot who founded it, they call it the founder, the abbot that actually have the vision to actually do it. Then the second one, very serene, the monk, very well practiced, beautiful. Then the whole area, the chanting, the vibration, the nature, the landscape, and the way they build those buildings, they are very well built, meticulous, with a lot of spiritual understanding and causes and conditions behind. That's why, although that place Qingdao, not much news about that area, but when we were there, the history behind was fantastic, and the people there also quite unique. Then there is a lot of what we call culture, history, very rich. Of course, the food are good because we got our Mr. who got the right contact from China. Then the hotel too were very good, and a lot of those who were with us, they are mostly new people. In fact, out of the 16, I think 4 or 5 are non-Kayamita new people. But they also find it very interesting and they really like the trip. There's one elderly uncle, Uncle also, 82 years old, I think, 10 years older than me. He loved that trip. And he said, if you got future trip like that, let me know. I said, I want to join. He said, and he really thanked us for allowing him to be part of the, we call it part of the people who join us. So, although he is not without Kayamita growth, but the causes and condition is such that it's like meant to be. Normally the trip I organize, before we open all the places, 80% or 90% will be taken out. Then the rest can sign up, but most of them will be on reserve list. But this time, very strange. We end up almost barely make the number. Then got two, I think, Tracy and the husband, I think Casey. They can't make it because of, I think, some private health issue or what I also didn't really know, but I heard from Papa Sri, and they want to like excuse themselves from the trip. Then we end up one Kayamita having to stay in single room because he is a man. He cannot have a lady as roommate. Then finally, I think Bing Fee, the Singaporean Kayamita, he managed to get two of his, I think, schoolmate and classmate. They were buddy from Malaysia, Sagamat, I think, or Pontian, I forgot already. So they also joined us with his wife. So he bring in three. Then Mr. Bring in the uncle 10 years older than me. So that makes up the exact number. So because of that, it's like very strange, but meant to be. And these people although new, but they really like our Kayamita, our companionship and all those things. Good food, good hotel, and good spiritual experience and trip. One of our new Kayamita also, Kiki Yip from Penang, I remember. She also with us, and he, towards the end of the trip, he came out and shared. He said, normally you go for this type of trip, it's like holiday, not so much of spiritual way place or temple visit. He said this trip, although relatively short, about 7 days, but 7 nights, sorry, or 6 nights, I think, 8 days. So he said, surprisingly, he enjoyed the trip so much. Good food, good hotel, good companionship. And at the same time, he said, we visited so many temples using the common fund and we rejoiced. And it was such an experience. That's why all this were beautiful. Then the driver also very helpful. The local, in China, we call him the local guide, Tao Yu in China. He is also a very experienced guide, English speaking, and he knows a lot about the Chinese culture and all those things, especially about Confucius teaching and all those things, the great sage of China. And I didn't know Qingdao, one of the place we visit is Confucius' birthplace. Not birthplace, sorry. His hometown. Then they built a very special temple for him, like a memorial to commemorate him and all those things. And there were a lot of things. So because of that, we really had a very good trip. Okay, back to you, Manya. Yeah.
Yeah, but you can see from the photo that it's a very beautiful trip. And
the nature very beautiful. They got a lot of spring, hot spring. They call it 温泉. and they got a lot of, but the one that we go and see, that tree, most beautiful and most amazingly, the water is not boiling now, it's cooling now, but the fishes are there, then the bubble that came out of it, then got one, the amount of water that come out from the spring underground can actually flow and form river, a lot of water, the bubbling on thing. And there was another one also, all three unique in their own way, but they are the most beautiful. Then we also visited a few of these like big like lotus flower and all those things. And they were really beautiful. That's why Qingdao, despite its location, its latitude, it's just opposite what we call Korea. Then we crossed that bridge. Oh, that bridge was very well built, very beautiful, a very, very long bridge, much longer than Penang Bridge. And a lot of construction marble and all this thing. And the local guy that we call him Xiao Zhang or Harvard, he very good. He explained to us a lot of things. Then from the photo you can see there are a lot of serene, beautiful places. Their nature are all very beautiful. That's why it's really to us it's a really beautiful and unique trip. And no wonder my nature somehow inside tell me I must make a trip there. So that trip when we make is also meant to be, because during that time a lot of Kayamita who may want to go, but they have committed to other trip that they have prior arrangement. So because of that, I think that is also the reason why those non-Kayamita or new people get to join us. It's like meant to be. Okay, Manyan, back to you.
Yeah, right. Yeah. These few weeks there were a lot of things happening in my life lah.
Good. You want to share?
Yeah, I mean it's like a lot of challenges. Like
good. You have to confront a lot of challenges, which is good. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean the water kettle that we have been using was faulty. Then I have to bring it back to the electrical shop. There were some challenges there.
Yeah.
And then the maid, we have a person that comes in once a week.
Yeah, look after your parents,
No, this one is to clean the house.
Oh, clean the house only. Oh, okay. What happened? He left.
Yeah, so so she came and then she noticed that the parquet floor was wet. And then she informed me. Yeah, so I noticed, the water was coming out. I was also not sure where it came out from, but it was right outside the bathroom.
Oh, leak pipe. Must be leak pipe.
We don't know at that point in time. So I called the contractor, and it was quite lucky because he came immediately when I called him.
Lucky, yeah.
Yeah, but he told me, lucky, very lucky. But then he said, that's very puzzling. How can that place get wet? He also not sure. Then he said, you sure I didn't pour water there? I said, yeah, why would I pour water there? Then he said, wait for 2 weeks, brother Teo. I say wait for 2 weeks. See whether it get dry or not. And then
no. He shouldn't have advised you that. The contractor should have shut off your supply line from the tank down. There are valves on your water tank up there. You shut them off first. Then you can trace where the leak pipe is. It must be definitely from that toilet up there. Otherwise, it won't happen. Then the other one is the direct supply from the meter in one. Not likely that one, but that one is buried on the ground floor. Yours is on the first floor, is it?
Yes, first floor.
First floor means from the tangki down one, not the direct supply one. So finally, how did he help you to solve?
So he left. That was Monday. And then, so, I mean, he followed his advisor. He said, wait for 2 weeks.
Oh, then what happened?
I think you have consulted you better. Anyway, then on the 4th day, on Friday, it was public holiday. So my older brother came with 2 nephews. And then my father, because where the water is, we have a bookshelf there.
Oh.
Exactly that place. So we couldn't really see where the water was coming up. So my brother, my father asked my brother and the nephews, go to the bookshelf. The bookshelf is so heavy, full of books. So, but lucky. And then we took out all the books, and then 3 of them, you should see them taking the bookshelf down all the way to the ground floor. But when they took it off, you see I could see where the water was coming out from. But I still couldn't know the source. So I called another plumber to come. So this plumber said, 2 possibilities. One possibility is like what brother said, the pipe is leaking. The second one is maybe it's seeping out from the bathroom when we take our bath. He said that. But he said that one is very
possible, but not likely. Not likely.
He said unlikely because the water will flow downward. I mean, the other way, the other
go
direction
downstairs.
to the hole.
It will not flow out like
The
that.
other way. But I wouldn't know because he said the floor is slanted towards the hole, so the water will not flow back. But I couldn't see with my eye that the floor is slanted towards the hole. To me, it's off.
Oh, they know, the contractor know. They put the 平水 check, the plumbing, the water bubble plumbing. They put on it, they will know already.
Oh, he didn't put anything like that, brother. But then this plumber say, but I'm very busy now, I cannot do anything for you. But you test again, he said. You wait for another few days. Don't use the water tank because my bathroom is quite old-fashioned.
He asked you to shut off,
tank. He asked me to drain out the water. Don't use the water tank.
Don't use.
Which we were already
doing.
Not the tanky on top of the roof, radio. The tanky, the tank, water tank in the
bathtub. The bathtub water.
The bathtub.
You have a
the bathtub
water?
Is the old-fashioned. It's the water tank.
The water tank.
Into the wall.
He asked you to drain it off. Which is also not correct. Drain it off is correct. Drain it off, then you know whether the water continue to come in or not. If the water continue to leak, means it's not from the water tank. It's another pipe. But what happened after he asked you to drain off?
But actually, we already drained off before he came, the day before. So it was already the second day when he came. And the water was, it was still wet. But he said, wait, so okay, we wait. Then later on, when he said like that, I called him again and said that, it's not stopping. And he said, oh, sorry, I cannot come today because I'm doing something somewhere in another house. But luckily, he said he will come tomorrow. But all these things is quite unsettling, the kettle, the wall leaking, and got here and there. But I think overall, I'm still okay, not too stressed out.
Not so badly affected,
not so badly. But this is not actually the thing I wanted to share about you. It's about the book that my brother and nephew took down. And inside the bookshelf, it's full of Buddhist books, actually. Yes, my
sadhu.
father
So it's a
collected,
blessing.
and yeah. So some of the books I have never read, or some maybe I have
Sadhu.
read when I'm very, very young, but
Yeah.
don't understand what they were saying,
Yeah, but now
or
you
can.
read, you understand.
Yeah, radio, very funny. So I
Mm.
took one book,
Ah,
I think it's called uh, uh, mindful awareness or mindfulness in plain English. So I
yeah.
took I
Yeah,
took it up
there is one.
at
Yes.
yeah,
Uh,
and I read, and I when I read I understand.
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean at my level, I think
yeah,
I
yeah,
understand.
yeah.
But last time if you ask me to read, I
You
would
cannot
not
understand.
understand what he's saying.
Uh,
Yeah. I understand, and then as I read, I feel peaceful, happy, and then after that, when I put it down, I read it out, like what I did in the
yeah,
retreat.
yeah.
So it was like very focused, very focused. The
Yes,
mind wasn't running around.
yes,
It was
yeah.
really paying attention to what I'm reading.
Sadhu.
It was a very peaceful experience.
Yeah.
And
Because when you have
that's
the
why, because I
understanding,
understood.
when you have the understanding, when you read, the meaning of it can actually make you peaceful, calm, and you will like reading it because all this come from your understanding based on what you have developed as progress. Otherwise, you cannot understand. Good, sadhu.
Yeah, and Moradi, when I read, I can also, I think I can pinpoint what was the difference between what it is saying and what Brother Teo
Yeah,
originated.
a
A
lot
bit
of
of different.
different, a lot of different. Not
Uh,
only a bit, a lot of
there
different.
was
Uh,
there was one part, a big part, which says that
mm.
concentration must be balanced with mindfulness. It's
Uh,
like it's as important as mindfulness. You cannot have one more than the other.
yeah,
It says that which
yeah.
I I I don't think Brother Teo
I will never
say
teach
that
that.
it.
Because the
Yeah.
real samadhi is not a mind that concentrate and focus. It's not the one that they commonly understand and apply. They say mindfulness and concentration, they must balance out. That one is based on the old teaching, not based on. Because the real mindfulness that accumulate into samadhi is a free mind, it's not a concentrated mind. That's why the mind that is collected, not concentrated, that is the right word. Collected and unwavering means it's a free mind, which is in the state of samadhi, can see things as they are and not agitated, not disturbed, means it's collected and unwavering. And that is the correct meaning. Very good. You can pick up all those things. Sadhu.
Yeah, but even despite the difference, I still have joy and peace when I read it lah.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
yeah, so then because I was reading at night, I then went to sleep lah. And I
Oh,
could, when I wake up in the morning, I could still feel that kind of peace lah. And
yeah.
then after that I try continue reading because I was enjoying
Mm.
it.
Yeah.
And then after that, I took another book. Another
Oh,
book was talking about the nine great qualities of the Buddha. Because Morality always
sadhu.
say that, uh,
80 peso.
the, the, the yeah,
Nine great
the Buddha
virtues.
is a great being.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
nine great
and you
virtues.
the nine great qualities or virtues about the
Yeah.
Buddha.
Mm.
And the chanting we always
Yeah,
chant
iti
about.
peso bagawa arahang sama
Yes,
sambuddho. Yeah.
correct. They were explaining it line by line what it means.
Yeah.
It was
Which is
talking about
very
the
meaningful. Yeah.
very, very meaningful. I thought, wow.
Yeah.
So after that, I appreciate more, like,
Yeah.
that,
Because you
Buddha
can
is,
understand
yeah,
much better by now. You will appreciate more, much more. That's
yeah.
why
And then,
when the triple gem can be understood in a deeper way, means you have progressed. Otherwise, you won't appreciate the triple gem, because this is the first important teaching. When you take refuge with triple gem, you must understand what the triple gem mean. And the first gem is the nine great virtue of the Buddha. Then the characteristics of this Dhamma, the teaching of the Buddha. That's why they chant it as the triple gem as Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha, and the four special quality of a Aryan Sangha, means the enlightened disciples of the Buddha. So all these are very important, very meaningful. Then when you have the Dhamma understanding, then you appreciate what the Buddha meant when he teach the monks and the devotee to recite and develop the understanding. That's why all the puja, they have this incorporated. Very good, not bad.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and then there's one story in that book that talks about the Buddha. You know, he doesn't react to any sense experience. He's always very, very patient. Even though, you know, the king who tried to was jealous of him. He wanted to test how patient and how the loving kindness that he said, Buddha said that he have. He tested on that until he chopped his limbs. He was a Bodhisattva at that time, and eventually the Bodhisattva actually passed away. But when he passed away, there wasn't even a hint of anger towards the king. Wow, when I read that part, it was like, wow. I mean, of course, I know all this stuff, but when you read it, you know,
it will give
really,
you that faith and that joy. Because only cultivator of the way can do that, can develop that type of wisdom and understanding and virtue. In fact, there are many stories, the Jataka story, that actually give rise to a lot of joy, faith, and all those things. When you read them with the Dhamma understanding. Very good. Sadhu. So now you will start to have more and more of all this experience coming in, which is good. That is also the reason why as one progress, the cultivator of the way, you will experience different aspects of cultivation, and they will manifest in their own beautiful way for you to develop the understanding, the joy. And all this is not really mentioned in any book, but the cultivator who goes through will develop the understanding. That's why all these are the causes and conditions behind. Then when you share, then people come to understand. Because cultivation is not about, wow, meditate, 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 and suddenly like you see light, you think you enlightened. It's not like that. Cultivation is something that will manifest on its own when you're on the right path. The understanding, the awakening, and it's all related to life, to Dhamma. Okay, you got less than 1 minute. You want to summarize, Manya?
Yeah, Radio. I just want to say that it is a beautiful teaching, and one who wants to cultivate have to be very patient to see the result. Do not be carried away with whatever thoughts that come and tell you this and that. Even now I still have a lot of negative thoughts, but at least you're more patient with it.
And your faith is very different already. Your faith is very different already. Sadhu, very good.
They are still there, but at least I a bit step back and say, sure or not. Why do you think like that?
Don't worry, this is part and parcel of what will happen. Then as you progress further, you will go through a lot of very beautiful experience that will actually give rise to a lot of joy. Then suddenly one day, the faith is unshakable one, very stable one, no more doubt. Means your spiritual faculty has evolved to become ballast or power. Okay, good. Sadhu. Mayan, thanks for the good
Thank
sharing.
you.
Thank you. Sadhu. Let us rejoice. Then we share merit. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, we will do the closing puja. We will share merit. Akasata cha bhumata devanaga mahindika punyang tang anumoditva cirang rakantu loka sasana ittavata camehi sampadan punya sampadan sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampati siddhya idang menya tinang hotu sukhita hontu nyatayo idang menya tinang hotu sukhita hontu nyatayo idang menya tinang hotu sukhita hontu nyatayo devo asatu kalena sasa sampati hetu cha fito bhavatu loko cha raja bhavatu dhammiko imina punyang kamena mame bala samagamo satang samagamo hotu yawa nivana patiya sadhu sadhu sadhu. Okay, you all may now pay respect mindfully to Lord Buddha, Kuan Yin Bodhisattva, and all the worthy ones. Then we end. Thank you.